The next one I want to talk about I call state regulation, but we can broaden it to think about it as self-regulation. And to illustrate it, I'm going to ask you all to stand up. And I want you to notice the individual differences in how you stand. Some of you popped up right away. Some of you kind of looked at me like, I'm so tired and I can't even get myself out of the chair. And everything in between. Some of you immediately took the opportunity to stretch, and then some of you sort of later discovered that you kind of rocked back and forth on your feet. Some of you are enjoying feeling yourself stretch out, and some of you are wanting to sit down right away. You can sit down again. Some of you may not want to sit down again, and you don't have to. And you'll notice that you all regain your seats in your own way. And this is an example of state regulation. Again, it begins actually before birth, state regulation. And this is the idea. At every microsecond in our existence, we are constantly shifting in terms of what's going on inside of us. We're a microsecond more hungry, a microsecond more energetic or more tired, a microsecond more worn out. And our environment is changing too. Our environment is becoming a microsecond more demanding, a microsecond more noxious. Every second, within ourselves and around us, the balance is shifting. So nature has had this wonderful system for helping us deal with those constant changes within ourselves and our environment, which is state regulation. And what it means is that if we think about the newborn states of deep sleep, light sleep, drowsiness, the alert state where you saw Humphrey in his visual gaze, fussing and crying, each one of these states represents a different kind of balance. A different kind of balance between what's going on inside the individual in that moment and what the demands or opportunities of the environment are. So for an infant, if the environment has shifted for the moment into a primarily toxic experience, lights are too bright, too much activity, too much noise, a child who's fairly skillful at state regulation will shift into sleep as a protective barrier. Another child may need to shift into sleep, but may have a harder time without that being supplemented by the parent recognizing it and providing some input and protection to help the child shift into sleep. Or if the environment is offering the opportunity to give information and to connect, then the child will shift into an alert state. So I think you can see how the ability to shift from one state to another is critical to learning. Both to be alert, to take in information and to give feedback out, but also to rest and restore, or with crying, to protest and say this isn't working. This too will help you, I think, in your reframing of temper tantrums or protests in your library. The child is saying this isn't working right now. And I think the important point about state regulation is it is, again, something that varies from one child to another, but it's not just the child. It's this balance between the child and the caregiver and the larger environment, and it's shifting at all moments in time. And it's, again, this balance between comfort and challenge. Because sometimes you might be able to just challenge the child enough to come out of sleep, to open up, and be ready to learn. They might need you to add a little bit of comfort in order for the child to be able to do that.